Yo, what up guys, Briefside here, and this is a detailed champion guide for Venomage, one of Raid Shadow Legends' best poison damage dealing champions. Yes, in this video I'm going to be featuring both an early game Venomage build for those who just got her, your early game, your mid game, and you want to see how to use her best or how to build her, and then an end game build for those who no longer even need her for the clan boss. So be sure to watch this video till the end. Alright, before we get further, let's talk about her skills first. This champion is awesome and best known for this skill right here. These are A3, that's the first one I'll talk about, which attacks all enemies, then has a 75% chance of placing heal reduction debuff for 3 turns. Yes, also has a 75% chance of placing 2 poison debuffs for 2 turns. So the heal reduction is for 3 turns, while the poison 2 that she places is for 2 turns. This is what she's best known for, right? But she doesn't just place this poison, because if this is all she's known for, she will not be such a good champion. Her A1 makes it even better, make this skill even better. We'll talk about that later. But right now, just know that this champion needs accuracy to be able to land this poison and this heal reduction. Poison is important for damage, but heal reduction is seen as a debuff that is not so important, except you're dealing with enemies that are always healing themselves. But in this case, when Venomage deals with champions, she's not actually placing this heal reduction on champions who healed themselves. I'll tell you why with the A1 later, why she has to place this heal reduction even on champions that are not healing themselves. Alright, so the poison is important, but this can all be booked up to 100% chance of landing. So whenever she takes it on, this poison will always land, and the heal reduction, if you have enough accuracy, of course. Now on the A2, she attacks one enemy, right? Has a 75% chance of placing decreased defense debuff for 2 turns. Also has a 75% chance of placing decreased attack debuff for 2 turns if the target is under poison. So this decreased defense has no condition it will land, but the decreased attack has condition. There has to be poison on the target first before this decreased attack will land. And this is a one target ability. It's not an AoE ability that you use on numerous enemy waves, right? This is just one target. So you should know that for her to be placing this decreased attack, poison needs to be out first. This means that you have to start the battle out with the A3 before she can go in with the A2, because if you start the battle out with the A2, she will just place only the decreased defense. Yes. Alright, on the passive though, before we talk about the A1, enemies under heal reduction debuff inflicts less damage to the entire team, not just to her alone. So I guess they didn't state that part, but it is important you know that when she places this heal reduction out there, the enemies that have it on them, they do less damage to your allies, not just to her. I guess maybe they didn't state that part. On her aura, she has an accuracy in all battles by 45. This is a champion you might want to put in the lead, especially if you're new to the game and you just got her, you don't have enough accuracy to even land her poisons. Put her in the leader slot in the front of your teams, and you have enough accuracy to land your poisons at least. Now let's talk about the A1, what I've been waiting for all this time. She attacks one enemy 2 times, decreases the target's max HP by 75% of the damage inflicted. Normally when somebody says you're decreasing somebody's max HP, in most champions you see it 30% of the damage inflicted also, but she is doing 75% of the damage inflicted. So if she does 50k hits, she will do 75% of that on their max HP will be reduced. But there's a condition right there. It only happens if the target is under heal reduction debuff. Now you're beginning to see why this heal reduction is so important, and I'll show you where this can be more useful. In general battles, in dungeons, you really don't need any champion or any enemies to have their max HP reduced, but in the end game content you might require this max HP reduction in the A1 a lot. So in the beginning of the game you might not need this first part. Now the first part, as a newer player or somebody who is using her for clan boss, you might want to talk about this part. Each hit has a 35% chance of activating 2 poisons. Normally when you place poisons on enemies, right, you have to wait till the poison, they take a turn and then they take damage from the poisons, right? But when she takes a turn with this A1, you don't have to wait. She activates that poison, making that damage instant. So even when the enemies now take a turn again, they still get their poison activated again. Remember, she places 2 poisons for 2 turns. So Each hit has a 35% chance of activating up to 2 poison debuffs on the target. Now you agree with me that 35% is not a high chance of activating. It's a very, very low chance. So you see, when I built my end game Venomage, you see why I made some changes to make this 35% a little bit higher. So because there are masteries that can increase that chance, right? It can be booked up to 45% chance and 50% chance. So there's a 50% chance that when you do this A1, she will activate the poison or not. Now that we've talked about all our skills and all that, let's talk about what I built her for in the early game build. Now I'm showing you her artifacts, right? In the early game, Venomage, since she's a poisoner, not just somebody who places poison, but somebody who also activates poison. It doesn't matter who places the poison. Any other poisoner who places it, she can also activate it. So she's best known for being used in the clan boss for the early game, especially if you don't have a team that is unkillable. Even unkillable teams can feature a Venomage as somebody who places poison and activates the poison. It's a very viable strategy to bring her into an unkillable team. So because remember, she doesn't just come with poison, she has other 2 debuffs that are important for the clan boss. I'm talking about decrease attack and decrease defense. So that's something you should know about this champion. She's an awesome champion for the clan boss. That's why you see me using Lifesteal set on her right now. This Venomage was built for the new to pro and early game account that I was playing on, and you see that our total stats right here is for early game builds, right? You see the speeds right there is kind of 215 and so on, because in the early game it's even hard to even reach 200 speeds. So 215, 180, 190 in the early game, it's fine. Don't go as low as 110, 120. That will make her not be able to do her skills, right? Even in the dungeons, most enemies you come across in the dungeon waves will be of 100 speed. So being this fast, make sure she is able to place this poison and then activate them or do her other skills also. I did not build crit rate or crit damage into this champion in the early game because it's kind of hard to focus on accuracy, which is the number one thing I'm trying to focus on. That's why you see my accuracy right there is 220 on this champion. Remember, for the early game, for every dungeon level, I'm talking about whether it's dragon or ice golem, you need 10 accuracy per level. That means for dungeon 20 you need 200 accuracy. Then for dungeon 21, 22, 24, 25, you might need up to 230, 240 accuracy. That's why you see me try to aim for that 230 accuracy, that I can use this champion in higher levels of dungeon, not just in only level 20 dungeons. All right, that's why I build her as her defense is high. I say high because any defense that is about 3,005, 3,000 is good enough for the highest level of the clan boss. Yes, so if you can build out with 2,000, 2,500, 3,000 defense, is also viable to be used in general dungeon content, so she doesn't die that easily. Because these champions who can do a lot of nuking, their base stats for defense and HP is usually not that high. But I didn't give her crit rate, I didn't give her crit damage because I wanted defense on her, because I was going to use this champion for the clan boss. So that's the total stats right there for Venomage on the early game build. Remember, this is still the early game build. If you want to see which artifacts I do have on her to reach these stats, I did have to put an accuracy chest on this champion to reach that high accuracy amount. If I put a defensive chest right here, that means I'll need an accuracy banner. So in the early game, it's kind of hard to get an accuracy banner, right? So that's why you see me going defense over there and then accuracy on the chest. But if you have an accuracy banner, you do not need defense on the chest. I mean, you do not need accuracy on the chest. That would be too much accuracy for the early game content. All right, that's explaining how I come across. These are defenses. You can see me going for defense. I didn't go crit damage here because I didn't have enough crit rate. So I didn't go crit rate here because I also wanted her to have enough defense. And that's the total stat right there. HP right there. Speed. That's why my speed was so high, because of this triple speed rule on this offset artifact. I didn't put accuracy over here to make a set for extra 40 accuracy because I needed this speed. Speed boots as always with some crit rate over there. That's my total build for the early game of Venomage. I'll show you her masteries right now. So if I should show you right now, she's built for clan boss again. So I'm going towards this last level of War Master to, get those procs on when she does damage to bosses especially. So that's what I was aiming for. And then on the defense tree, I came over here because I needed this counter attack when she loses 25% of her max HP. That will allow her to heal when she does this counter attack. So it's a 50% chance, which is a very high chance of, you know, losing of counter attacking. And when she's being used for the clan boss, yes, he's gonna do his big hits, and yes, she's gonna lose 25% of her max HP almost every time that the clan boss hits. That's why this is very important. Now, if you're early game and you don't have accuracy banner, you don't even have accuracy chest, most people will prefer you go and get some accuracy on this part of the support tree. That's the only reason why you're coming over here. You also have a chance right here of increasing the duration of her poisons, right there has a 30% chance of extending the duration of debuffs. So if you want to go this route, you can also do that, but I prefer my Venomage being used with another poisoner. That's why I didn't go this route, and I knew I had enough accuracy already in my build. That's why I didn't go the support route. So make sure you choose which one best suits you. There's no point coming in with a Venomage that doesn't have enough accuracy. If you know you don't have enough accuracy on her, make sure you get accuracy here, and accuracy here. This is awesome for her. All right, I've talked about her early game build right now. Do we want to see Venomage, how I use that in the early game? If you want to see a quick run about that, I'll quickly show you the teams that helped her achieve her mission. The first mission was to be used in the clan boss. That's the first thing I built her for. So if I should show the teams that made it possible, I don't even want to show Ultra Nightmare. I'll just show you the quick team like this. Well, not this team. A team like this right there. So that's a full tank defense team right there, right? Defense, decrease attack A1 right there, decrease defense and weaken right there, you know, all ally attack, and then Venomage coming in with the poison. Now this team does not have a poisoner along, so that means I will need to remove this Sifi right there and put in somebody like a Frozen Banshee or Occult Brawler. This will make Venomage go crazy with this poison. So my entire damage is coming mostly from my poisons in this type of build. All right, that's the team that I would suggest that you run with Venomage, something like that, to have her poison go crazy on the clan boss. I'm not gonna run it so it doesn't take too long. For other areas from the clan boss that I think Venomage shines a lot is the dungeon. She's best known for being used in the dungeons. So if I head over to the dungeons right now, the best dungeon for Venomage is Dragon, because the Dragon takes a lot of damage from poisons, right? And whenever she does that at A1, she explodes the poison or she activates the poisons. So that's one of her best places that you can use her. And then for the waves, she will also reduce the damage you take from the waves. I've seen some people build Venomage for a what do you call, one of those teams that will make her go crazy in terms of you reduce the damage you take, and will make her go crazy in terms of being a solo build. Yes, so Venomage, if in lifesteal and if fast enough, or one of those sets that makes her take extra turns, can be a champion that will solo Dragon. Yes, but this is not we're not talking about a solo Venomage build right now. So we are talking about how you can use her in the early game. Now that you've seen where you can use her for the Dragon, similar team like that, another place that Venomage is best known for is the Fire Knight. Why is she best known for the Fire Knight? Because it's a boss that heals himself. It's very annoying, I know. So if you bring in a Venomage here, she will stop that heal from happening. All she needs to do is save her skills. When you get to the boss, when the shield is down, you place that her heal reduction, and the boss can put the shield back up. His health will not go back up. That's where I use her. If you check out my Fire Knight team right now, you see a Venomage sitting there doing that work. Oh, I took her out in place of this dude, so I didn't want him taking a turn. If I don't want the boss taking a turn, I'll use Amiga. But if I will let him take a turn, I guess Amiga is not needed. She's also awesome for making the waves go down faster, because poisons on those waves makes them go faster. Sometimes you see them with 4 poisons, 6 poisons, because she's taking a lot of turns faster than they are 200 and they are at 100 speed. All right, now that I've shown you the early game build for Venomage and her Masteries, let me switch over to my end game build for Venomage and show you where I use that. I'll be right back with that end game build for Venomage. Alright, I'm back on my endgame account, and this is my Venomage build for the endgame, late game. Remember, this account is old. It has an unkillable team already that can do Ultra Nightmare and all that, so I don't need Venomage for the clan boss. That means I built her for endgame content. What's the most endgame content in Raid Shadow Legends? It is Doom Tower Hard. So yes, this champion is built for Doom Tower Hard. This is not a champion that is an arena champion, or somebody will say, since she's retired for clan boss usage, since she's kind of retired from dungeon usage, because you now have people who can place 4 poisons, more poisoners that are out there, better poisoners. She can still be featured in the dungeons at 25 levels. Remember, there is higher dungeons than 20. But this build works for both dungeon 25 levels and also for the Doom Tower Hard. And also, maybe if you want to bring her into Hydra, poisons are not the best way to do damage in the Hydra. Yes, and heal reduction doesn't really have an effect, but I guess she can reduce the damage you're taking and do that. You know, she can do some damage, I guess, but it's not something I would put her into. I've not seen her being used in the Hydra. So my total stats for this endgame Venomage build that I use for Doom Tower, built specifically for Doom Tower Hard content, that's right there. 73k HP or 73k HP is too high, I know. 50k, 60k is fine, but I went overboard because I didn't want her to be the first dying. Remember, this champion is no longer in lifesteal, so you need some survivor stats. Now the defense right there is kind of low because I no longer needed her for the clan boss. 2800 defense is fine, and she does damage based on attack, so if you want to pump that attack high, fine. 261 speed, it's what I wanted to go. This makes sure I take a turn before the enemies in the Doom Tower take a turn. They are not up to this speed. Crit rate, crit damage, again, I did not focus on this. Why? Because I wanted accuracy right there. So in the Doom Tower, you agree with me that sometimes resistance is important, but if you focus on accuracy, this high amount of accuracy, it means there is no content in the Doom Tower that will get that her poisons can be resisted for. So she cannot be resisted, basically. That's what I'm trying to say. But I didn't want to put resistance in this champion right now because she's not taking much damage and we can take them out. She cannot do it alone. It's not a solo run. Of course, she'll have other supporting champions, but the main purpose that I built this champion for the Doom Tower is for heal reduction. Now, if you want to see a run where she has actually being used in the Doom Tower, because this video has gone on long enough, I don't want to show do a 30 minutes run of her doing Doom Tower Hard content. I'll pin this video above right here where I used Venomage to clear one of the most difficult Sifi and Roto stages where they are healing themselves like crazy. I think it's floor 114 or so. Check out that video right there. I'll pin it so you can watch that Venomage in action. Without Venomage, I was not able to pass that stage. She is the reason why I was able to pass that stage where too much healing was just going on. So that's the end game Venomage build. To reach that type of accuracy, I needed to put her in perception. Fine, there will be somebody doing the heal. There's still the Drake already out there. If she goes down, she can be revived and all that. So to reach that amount of stats, that's what I had to do. Now there's something else I wanted to say for the last one, and that is her masteries for the end game build. That's it right there. So she's here in my team not to do A1 hits to bosses anymore. No longer for clan boss, right? She's here in my team as a champion who can, you know, be fast, have enough accuracy, and have this one to extend the duration of those poisons, and also have this one to increase the chances of placing debuffs, right? And what am I talking about? This one, where is it again? Let me go to the one that I selected that skill for. It's the A1. I told you I was saving it for the last, right? So each hit has a 35% chance of activating, and we said it's up to 50%. Now with this mastery that I selected, she has an extra 5% added of activating those poisons. So that's what I built out for, and this build works for Scarab King. Yes, because she has that inbuilt chance of decreasing the enemy's max HP by 75% of the damage she inflicts. That's why I selected this. Now, this is not for everybody. I knew I was no longer going to use her in anything like the clan boss. That is why I came this way for Doom Tower content. So that's why she's built like this. But hey, you do not have to come this way. Her best build is always offense because she's a damage dealing champion. always go to your offense and select this War Master. I wanted to come this way because I wanted 55% chance of exploding those poisons. That's it. Nothing special about that build. Alright, that's why I decided to show you both the early game build and the end game build. You choose. Even for the end game, I still advise you put Venomage in Lifesteal because she is literally unkillable. Whenever she takes a turn, she heals herself back to max HP. And for the end game, I'll always go with counter attack Masteries right there, where you see me selecting counter attack because she will explode more poisons when she has counter attack. Alright, that's the both early game build and end game build for Venomage. I'll show you some of the artifacts I had to use on her. HP right there, HP right there. That's why HP is that high. Now I could take out one of this HP and make it a defense if I wanted more defense. But on the chest, I guess she also has HP right there and defense right there. So accuracy on the banner, not even high roll speed, but even HP. So that's my Venomage build. Let me know which one you think is the best one. The early game build for the clan boss or this end game build that is awesome for Doom Tower hard content. Now this Venomage can also be used for what do you call it, dungeon content also. I still use her in my Fire Knight teams for the end game Fire Knight teams. But for end game level 25 dungeons, if you're end game right now, we already had Cold Hearts and we had you know champions who can just nuke the Fire Knight, so we no longer need to do slow runs and be careful with Venomage placing heal reduction. No, Cold Hearts is placing heal reduction already, so she does not feature in this end game content anymore for those who already have Cold Hearts. For the early game, she will help a lot, but I built this champion for end game Doom Tower, and that's why I use her. Like I said, check out that video and let me know what you think about my 2 Venomage build. I'd like to hear your inputs below in the comments. If this guide helps you about how I use Venomage, let me know also how you are using her, and ask any questions you have about her in the comments below, and I'll get back to you. Join the Discord if you have any other champion builds that you'd like to see me showcase my champions, whether it's early game builds or late game build. I can also put it together for you and show you. Join the Discord and drop those suggestions and ask any questions you have. I'll see you guys in the next one. Make sure you hit the likes button if this helps you before you leave out of this video, and subscribe if you want more videos from me like this about Raid Shadow Legends. I'll see you guys later.